Okay, so that's going. You just had to?
Yeah, I waited till you hit record on that one.
You could even help yourself on that one.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
Man.
I think this might be a new, I don't know about lengthwise, but I think this is the biggest agenda we've had ever on this show.
At least quite some time, at least.
It definitely feels like it, man. We got some chunky shit on here.
Well, every time we say that, we always do like an hour.
We plow through it.
Yeah, we do like an hour.
You know what it is? It's that mental game where it's like, oh, we got a lot of stuff. We got to keep moving. Whereas if we have little stuff, we can spend like 20 minutes on a topic.
Yeah.
I think it's that like headspace that we're in,
Yeah, that probably has a lot to do with it. Most deaf. Can you please not ever again, please? Fuck.
Ugh.
Sorry, folks. Not really.
He's finding the file to drag and drop.
I'm
an audio engineer.
I am, kind of. I am. I'm not totally useless.
No.
Not totally.
No. What's the motto? UPS always needs a warm body?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a good one. But, so yeah, man, we're back. Even though it's not the intro, but yeah, man. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, you fucked it up.
How about now?
Yeah.
Now, are you ready?
Yeah.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Second City Kids Podcast, episode number 136.
Wow, we are 136, huh?
Oh, yeah, we're here. And we are back on a beautiful Sunday evening on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. I apologize for not being able to have a show out last week. Reason being is our flight got delayed. So we were supposed to be pulling oh, nice.
Would you get delayed by 2 hours?
Yeah, just about.
That's not too bad.
We were supposed to pull in like at 6, and then we ended up pulling in like at 8, and by the time we got home, it was like 9. I'm like, yeah, I don't think Gabe's going to want to come over.
I had a flight delayed. Oh, man, I was super young. I think by like 7 hours.
Holy shit.
I was on like a 9-hour flight. So that was,
what happened? Did the plane blow up?
I don't know. It was many, many moons ago when I was young. But
Oh, no.
That was no fun.
Oh, no.
Sleeping in an airport.
Yeah, dude. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, man, we're back. And Gabe, it's been 2 weeks. Yeah,
Good.
since we've seen each other. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. We house sat. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Your dogs love us now.
Yeah.
Because somebody showed them finally some affection.
Shut your ass up.
One of your dogs has a bald spot. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but now is a good time to go and check. Your other dog has eyes now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
They got into the birds, man.
Yeah.
So we did some yard work. We did some dog work. This house has never looked as good as when we left. Yeah, man. But it's been, average ass week and some change.
Yeah. For sure. All right. But yeah, man, we're back and we're ready to go ahead and get started because we do have a little bit of a thick boy agenda. We talked about that in the pre-roll. But yeah, we're back. All right, Gabe. You got I saw something of interest in here.
Dude, you know what? So I put down cheese grater incident. I don't recall what the cheese grater incident is, though.
Maybe.
So
Do you know what the cheese grater
I think we might just have to hop over it.
Okay.
Because I don't remember.
It probably hit you like later.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I'll text you.
Yeah.
Jake.
By the
up.
way.
Wake up.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I went to Florida, guys. I went to Florida. I'm gonna try to keep this relatively short comparatively to what we got on the docket. But so we went. We arrived Sunday around 11. The plane ride there was flawless. Elisana was really good. She got a little antsy because she doesn't like really being contained all that much. But once we got her on the plane, she basically fell asleep for the whole entire plane ride. So that was pretty fucking cool.
Nice.
When she woke up, because I was antsy because this is my first plane ride. As she woke up, I'm like, oh no, we're gonna have to deal with her being upset because she doesn't like being in the chair for very long. And it's like, oh yeah, we're cruising into Orlando now. I'm like, yes. So got there. We stayed at the Caribbean Beach Hotel on Disney. Fucking phenomenal. They are a great hotel, great resort. I like the whole not having to pick up my bag from the airport thing. One less thing.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, one less thing to worry about, one less thing to carry.
It's not like you've ever had to experience that, though.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're definitely right. So that was nice. Well, I guess kind of on the way back I did. I have to grab my stuff, I guess, right? But yeah, so we did that and we went out. Like I said, by the time we got to the hotel, it's probably like around one-ish. Room was ready to go. Like I said, nice rooms, nice place. Each building is themed to a different Caribbean island. We were in Aruba.
Cool. Can you spell that?
Aruba.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, so lesson learned on this one: we will never ever get off an airplane and then proceed to go directly to a Disney park. I will never do that again.
Why? What happened?
I was fucking exhausted, and the baby was fucking exhausted too. She was not a happy.
What'd you guys do day one?
We went to Magic Kingdom to do Disney's Not So Spooky Halloween party.
Cool. How'd that blow over?
It was cool. It was nice. Magic Kingdom, doesn't exactly appeal to my sensibilities, but Elisana had to go. So, and the Halloween party was fun. It was cute. They gave away candy and stuff like that. And they had like some different shows going. They had like the Hocus Pocus, Sanderson sisters have like their own little show on the stage and all that good stuff.
My girlfriend is wide-eyed over there in the corner. She heard Sanderson sisters.
Yeah, for sure. But like I said, Magic Kingdom not my favorite, but I was just tired. And but the baby stayed basically all night. My mom's like, yeah, go back to the hotel. I'm like, you sure you got her? Mom's like, yeah, that's why I brought her, which is true. So the baby stayed out all night until like midnight.
Nice.
I mean, Adriana were back in the hotel like at 10. Like,
who's the baby now?
Exactly, right? But yeah, a lot of fun. Did Space Mountain. Good times,
Space Mountain's good.
Did Snow White, Seven Dwarfs,
yeah,
minecart. That's fucking sick. That ride is fucking dope.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It has one of the better queues. Like,
did you spin all the barrels at once?
Yes.
At the same time?
Yeah,
nice.
That was fucking cool.
Good stuff.
Had a lot of fun with that, but nothing too crazy to report about, Magic Kingdom. Next day, we did Animal Kingdom. You didn't go to Animal Kingdom, right?
Well, no, we went to all the parks, buddy.
Oh, you did all the parks.
We went to some parks twice.
All right, so I'm a fucking write a love letter.
Drool a little bit.
Yeah, write a love letter to Disney and Animal Kingdom because I had never been. This was my first time going to Animal Kingdom, and my preconceived notion was that it was just kind of a glorified zoo with some rides, right? Come to find out that not only is it a great park, I think it might be my favorite.
You belong in Animal Kingdom for that comment. I think it is easily my least favorite of the bunch.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
Interesting. So we went. It was just me and Adriana. My mom didn't want to go. And she's like, "I had the baby." I'm like, "Okay, fine, whatever, we'll go." So we went, and at first, we did the dinosaur ride, which whatever, it was cool.
Which one is that?
That's the one with the big dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, that explains it.
That was the first one we did.
Yeah. Now I'm not. We've talked about previously. I'm not very fond of large objects, so I was kind of focused straight ahead. I'm not gonna lie.
I got you.
Yeah. So Adriana was like, "Do you like it?" I'm like, honestly, I was just not even paying attention. I was zoned the fuck out. But basically after that, we did Asia. Mm-hmm. We did the Everest ride.
Awesome ride.
It was fucking sick.
Fucking great ride.
It was such a good ride. We also did the Cali River Rapids ride, which is fun, like a little water ride. Pretty good. Saw the monkeys.
Nice.
Monkeys were going ape shit. They were swinging around on rope and doing all kinds of fun stuff. So me and Adriana watched them for a little bit. And then we went to Pandora. And this is where like the Disney magic hit me.
Yeah, at Pandora.
Yeah, because I'm not crazy about the franchise or whatever.
Sure.
Or it's
the
a
movie.
It's a movie right now still. But I was fucking like floored by the whole presentation of everything here.
Cool.
I liked the drums. I liked everything. The food was really fucking good. They had really good food there. We rode Flight of Passage. You guys do that last time?
Which one is that? The VR one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that one.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I would say probably one of the better rides in the whole park.
Yeah, it's a full-blown experience.
Yeah. And also, I don't know how packed it was when you guys sit there. You guys, it was pretty packed, right? Not crazy?
For that particular ride, I think we waited 2 hours.
Yeah. I was, because we were about the same, and I was just like floored by the size of the queue.
Yeah.
Like how
insane.
big it is. And
we ran through most of that queue.
Yeah.
Because I think it's allotted for like 5 or 6 hours,
Yeah.
honestly.
I was telling Adriana, because I'm like, this is 2 hours, and they're not even using every nook and cranny and corner in this place. You could probably fit 4 to 5 hours with the people in there pretty easily.
Yeah.
And, man, it was awesome. We had a great time. It was, like I said, probably my favorite ride. I just like the whole feeling the animal breathe thing and the water in the face and all that. And we did the little river ride, too. And, yeah, man, I really enjoy Animal Kingdom. I don't know why you weren't particularly fond of it. Is there a particular reason why you weren't fond of it?
I don't think it was bad. I just think all the other parks were better, in my opinion.
Really?
I had a better time at the other ones.
Okay, fair enough.
Tis all.
Yeah, and we had a blast. Like I said, probably one of my favorite parks. Took Tuesday off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tuesday we were off. We went to Disney Springs twice. We went once during the day and once during the night. I'm never doing that again either. If we're going to go during the night because it's fun and there's a lot of shit going on.
Did you hit the big-ass Lego store?
We saw it. We didn't really go in. We didn't really go in too much.
Somebody had a depraved childhood.
Well, Legos were never really my thing. I never really liked Legos. So wasn't really my thing. But we went to a place called Deluxe Burger on Disney Springs. It was a decent, not overly priced burger. I say fairly good for the price too, especially comparatively with some of the other food that's overpriced and ridiculous. And so yes, like I said, Disney Springs is a fucking hoot at night. I just love their integration with the transportation system. Like they're extremely efficient when it comes to that. And I give Disney a lot of credit because literally they don't want you to leave Prem.
Yeah, it's crazy that they're little less kind of city, let's call it. Their transportation is like magnitudes better than like the CTA.
Yeah, definitely. They're, like I said, it's just super efficient and they know what they're doing, and they got all like I guess they found the nicest bus drivers they can because those guys are super patient with like screaming kids and all that kind of good stuff.
And your unmagical moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were fortunate. Well, even if I don't know if we didn't have any kids on our rides, but I think if we did, we didn't even notice because they were so damn quiet. Which
nice.
Is nice.
Yeah, that's nice. It's yeah, man, and it was a good time. So what did we do? Then we did Hollywood Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's been the first time I've been to Hollywood Studios. They had the hat, the sorcerer's hat still.
Cool.
When I was over there, and obviously they since removed that. Basically, I went directly to Star Wars Land and waited 50 minutes for the Smuggler's Run ride, which is not long at all.
No, I think we waited an hour and a half, maybe hour 45.
Yeah.
On opening day, that's not terrible.
Yeah, not too bad. And man, the ride's fun. The fucking smuggler, it was
super awesome, right?
It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. Adriana was a really bad pilot because we were both pilots. We got lucky in that regard. I kind of counted cards a little bit on that because I'm like, okay,
we get a X amount of people in front of us.
Yeah. Counted cards on that particular regard, but yeah, man, it looks fucking phenomenal. It looks like a lot of fun. You're really immersed into it. Didn't spend a ton of time in there because we were doing a lot of running back and forth from one side of the park to the other. I think this was the day that we took the most advantage of the fast pass.
Sure,
because we actually burned all three and was like constantly re-upping on the new one. We read Tower of Terror twice, and what else? We did the Rock and Roll roller coaster and all that good stuff. But I will say, wherever we ate that day made us sick. Not like throwing up sick, but like it was like a rumble in the jungle.
Like a nausea.
Yeah, a little nausea. Had to go to the washroom a couple of times, right? So we go on. In between that was before we went on the Hollywood Tower of Terror twice. So the second time we're getting on, I started not to feel well as we were like arriving to the top of the queue. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm looking at Adriana. I'm like, you okay? She's like, I don't feel well. I'm like, oh no.
Nice.
So we get on the ride, and you know how it takes you on the track, and before it gives you the whole speech about the Tower of Terror, as we like lock in and like ready to go, Adriana was like, oh, this was a mistake. So fortunately, we were kind of playing Russian roulette with our stomachs there. Fortunately, no such incident.
No bodily fluids were spilled.
Yeah, no bodily fluids were spilled on that particular day. Rid spent some time in the Toy Story Mania, the Toy Story Land. Had a lot of fun. We did the Toy Story Mania ride with Elisana. She wasn't very fond of it.
The shoot 'em up one?
Yeah, she wasn't big on it. I think she was kind of just afraid of the jerky thing.
Yeah.
And I will say,
did you do Slinky Dog?
No, we didn't get a chance to do Slinky because we were in line and then it fucking shut down. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But oh Jesus, yeah. So we did the Toy Story Mania thing. I will say it's a fucking workout for your forearm because you're constantly having
you're popping the thing.
Yeah, pulling that thing. Fucking horrible.
Yeah, man.
My shit was burning. Anyway, so yeah, Hollywood Studios did not fail to impress. Did a great job. Was a lot of fun. Then we switched hotels. We went closer to Universal. However, because it wasn't a Universal resort, it was just a hotel. It kind of sucked.
Yeah, it's to be expected.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. Wasn't crazy about it. It was a hotel. It did the job. It was a place to sleep and a place to put all our shit in the meantime. But wasn't overly impressed with the hotel. I'm not gonna like fucking crucify them or anything like that. But not crazy about it. Had a bad Chipotle experience because
For the first time in ever.
Well, because I've had bad experiences here, but like we ordered it. The lady brought it with just Elisana's food. And I'm like, we ordered 3 items. Why is there only one? And she's like, oh, they said. I'm like, well, that's your job is to make sure you have everything before you leave. So I called, and then we called again, and they're like, okay, well, we can send it out again. And they sent it out, and it was like very like lackluster. You ever get like just a lackluster burrito bowl? That's what we were at, and pretty disappointed on that regard. But then we went to Universal Studios, had a fucking blast. Harry Potter World was fucking phenomenal. It's so good, super immersive. Great rides too. They had a lot of good rides. We did the fast pass park hoppers, so we're just back and forth, riding all the stuff. The Hulk kicked my ass this time. Last time I went, it was like the most smooth roller coaster I've ever been on. This time, I think I had an internal brain hemorrhaging, but I'm still alive, so I don't think it's that serious. But yeah, man, Universal was a blast. We went to Voodoo Donuts on City Walk. For those who may not be familiar, I think they're native out of Portland, and they do fucking souped up donuts, right?
They're a smidge overrated.
A smidge, I'll give you that for sure. Definitely a little overpriced too, but pretty good. Not bad. I like the donut. The actual donut is really good.
Yeah, it's nice and soft.
Yeah, I don't think they need the gimmick, but I know it's part of the deal. But I think if they just gave me like a dozen just normal donuts, I think I would have loved it.
Cool.
Overall, I had fun with it though. Like I said, there was some stuff that was just like, that's diabetes. And then, yeah, man, we just hung out and came home. You know, plane ride back was a little bit more rough. Alessandra refused to sit still. And keep in mind, she was in the airport for like 5-6 hours, so I don't blame her exactly because we got there a little bit early and then we got delayed. And she was a little restless, and getting her through the TSA was a pain in the ass. It's probably the most frustrated I've ever been with her. And then she pissed me off. And then we got on the plane and we came home.
Cool.
Yep.
So plane rides, what's your verdict? Not that bad?
I think it was the perfect starter plane ride for me because it wasn't overly long. 2.5 hours. You're up, you're down. Learned that because at Midway, when you fly out of Midway, it's like fucking like sending a rocket ship in the air because they have this much space to pull off.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so,
I know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Orlando's like, woo, here we go, nice and smooth. And same deal with landing. Like fucking, if you don't land in an appropriate time at Midway, you're gonna end up on Cicero. So
yeah, you're gonna. That's pretty good actually.
Yeah. So overall, pretty cool. I would do it again.
Fly or go back to?
I would fly again. Like I said, next time I think maybe I'll be ready for like maybe the 3.5 hour flight.
Ooh,
because like I said, I started
daring today, aren't we?
Yeah, I started to get a little antsy by the last half an hour. But like I said, it was nice and soothing because they're like, oh yeah, we're coming in Chicago.
Yeah, we're doing a 14-hour flight in April. So.
Where are you guys going?
We're going to Asia, buddy.
You're going to Asia? Where are you going?
We're going to Japan.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway, we got a whole ass agenda to dive into. Let's just get right into it.
Sorry.
Let's talk some movies, TVs / books. Have you seen anything about this film? It's called Lighthouse.
Nothing.
It's Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, and I think there's one more actress, but she's like in and out. So this is a thriller / horror, and it's all in black and white, and it's about these two, Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, going apeshit in a fucking lighthouse. I don't know anything else, and I don't want to know anything else. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and we got tickets for it next week. If you haven't seen the trailer, look that shit up.
Okay.
Because it looks really fucking good.
Does it?
Yeah, it looks like two crusty old mad seamen like going insane. You know what I mean?
Your definition of crusty semen and my definition of crusty semen are apparently two different
I think
things.
they might be the same.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, check that out. That's called The Lighthouse. I'll probably do maybe not a full review. I'll give you my opinions on it, but I got good feelings about it.
Sure.
All right, moving into the next topic, The Irishman. So AMC has this weird kind of thing where they're like, we don't want to screen this movie for like a week. Like that doesn't make financial sense to us.
Okay.
So it'll be in a handful of select theaters, not in AMC ones. It will be on Broadway 2 weeks prior to its release on Netflix.
That's unusual.
Yeah, it is a bit unusual. So I guess if you really want to see it on the big screen, which, you know, for a Scorsese film, you probably would, try and find a theater, try and get to Broadway. Other than that, wait 2 weeks. I believe November 27th is the day, Black Friday, if I'm not mistaken, that it comes out on Netflix.
Oh, cool.
So I think it'll be fun. I think with such a big name attached to this as Scorsese and De Niro and all these guys coming together for this movie, and for it to be probably the closest thing to a direct-to-streaming thing we've seen in quite some time, at least for bigger name stuff, I think that's an interesting move on both the theater's parts and Scorsese's part.
Well, so what? They just didn't want to have it in the theaters?
I'm telling you, AMC was probably like, dude, it doesn't make sense to screen this for a week. It doesn't make sense to give up 1 or 2, theater rooms for a whole ass week just to screen this. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
I don't fault AMC for it because, like I said, that would have been in and out. You know what I mean? Because it's like you got that prime time and then it's on Netflix. Who else is going to see that when it's on Netflix?
This is true.
And I'm sure AMC pays a fee up front to screen it, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they make back their money in ticket sales.
Yeah. Maybe first week dollar goes to wherever, and by the time maybe
we need more theaters around here like DTLG or Marcus that show kind of the artsy fartsier films.
Yeah,
because I would like to see this in theaters, but who knows? we'll see in a week or two if I can find tickets around here.
Interesting. That's like I said, I've never heard anything like that before, so that's kind of unique.
Good stuff. Let's talk some Larighetto stuff.
Larighetto.
And we got a full review of this movie down below.
Well, I figured we just talk about this and then we just go into the review.
Oh.
What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
You prepared for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jared Leto, well, I think it's kind of been known, but he felt very alienated with the new Joker film coming out and not featuring him. I guess they were promising kind of the world in that regard, and turns out nobody liked his Joker. So for some reason, he felt like he deserved his own film. They cut a lot out of his particular Joker out of the Suicide Squad itself. So I'm not exactly sure why he believed he was gonna get his own film.
Oh, that's funny. You would have thought that if it was a Joker film, it would be named something like Joker, not Suicide Squad.
Yeah, right. Not exactly sure why he thought he had that kind of pull. I understand he just won an Oscar not too long ago, but at the end of the day, I've never been impressed with anything he's ever done. And I've never seen Dallas Buyers Club, so was it good? I've never seen it, so everything else he's done has just been good looking, bland.
Here's the thing,
leading man.
Here's the thing, and me and my SO had this discussion earlier today, actually. Suicide Squad was bad because it was bad writing, bad direction, characters we didn't give a shit about, and a villain that was just there to cause conflict, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It wasn't a bad movie because Larighetto. You know what I mean?
He didn't help?
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm sure he must have known something because he read a script or somebody gave him a snippet and he said, let's do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think his part was bad at all. I think he portrayed Joker in a new, interesting way. I know people have beef with the look, but that's always going to happen with characters like Batman and Joker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some timeless characters.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, there's nothing he could have done unless he was in the writing room. You know what I mean? There's literally nothing that man could have done.
Well, I know that he rubbed Warner Brothers the wrong way with a lot of the stunts that he pulled on set when it comes to like sending people like pig heads or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
He pissed off a lot of people.
The Joker is just a cursed role, man, because Heath had some weird shit going on set too, like with the diary, and then Jared had I thought it was a rat's head, but he's sending people rats and stuff. I thought he sent Margot Robbie a rat, right?
Yeah, he sent her a rat, and I think...
And then Joaquin Phoenix was like snapping at people on set and stuff. And yeah. So, I mean, what are you going to say, man? I understand Jared's kind of frustration with it and stuff, but dude, at the end of the day, you choose kind of the movies you want to be in. You know what I mean? And if you wanted more pieces, more parts, more screen time, that should have been negotiated in your contract up front. Yeah.
And I don't really particularly like him trying to put the boots to this Joker film. He was trying to like kill it before it even came off the ground. That was like a big part of it too. He was trying to.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's a Suicide Squad movie that nobody gave a shit about.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And even Will Smith said, "I don't want anything to do with that anymore."
Yep.
And that just kind of goes to show that movie was kind of destined to fail.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so we both watched Joker.
We did
over the weekend.
We did.
Went in. I got me and Maddie got a slushie. We got that Addams Family Black Cherry slushie, and I pooped blue this morning. So I guess you could say I had a truly spooky dookie. Anyway, yeah, I called her in to show her.
Nice.
I was so proud.
Spooky dookie.
Let's talk, man. So we waited a bit. This is a late ass review. I think we're 3 weeks late.
Something like that.
2 weeks? No,
2
I think
weeks.
we're 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're not too late. What'd you think?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a really fucking good movie.
Like in every way.
I thought this was the most realistic Joker movie we've ever gotten.
Yeah. I think, I'm not like, I think it's one of the more depressing films I've ever seen of my life.
You thought it was depressing?
Yeah. I think there was a lot of depressing moments in it. I think there's you never really get that, unless at the end, but, depending how you look at it, you don't really get that moment of like, oh, yeah, like, or things are getting better. Like, it never really.
Oh, you didn't feel that at the ending?
I mean, I think there's a moment where you're just like, okay, he's finally had enough. But, like, it wasn't a moment of like, yeah. It was a moment like, ooh. It's funny because I think they did a really good job, like a fantastic job of covering up or not showing us the violence. Because
until it was needed.
I was genuinely caught off guard with
the headshots
with some of the violence in this film. I don't know how deep are we going in spoilers? Are we doing spoilers for this?
I don't know, man. You're calling it. Your call.
I think you would have saw it by now. I made it like
sure.
$800
If you haven't seen it by now, skip ahead like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I think this movie takes the perfect approach in regards to, like, I don't know, let's just call it Tarantinoism, right? Where
Sure.
it kind of hides a lot of it in front, like with Hateful Eight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you go like 80% of the movie without seeing any sort of crazy violence, and then boom, gunshot.
Over the top.
You get the fucking head splatter.
The
You get all this nasty shit.
The
yeah.
hanging. Yeah.
The hanging was disgusting. You get the scissor kill and all that good stuff.
Dude getting his dick shot off.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
I think it was purposeful, man, because this whole time we come up with Joaquin Phoenix kind of being presented as this hopeless motherfucker, and I think that change in personality, and we see the change in his actions.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Essentially, what we got was 2 hours of Joaquin Phoenix smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, smoking isn't cool, but he sure as fuck makes it look cool.
Yeah, he was fucking devouring cigarettes and he was eating the shit like Mario. Anyway, there's
where do you even go, man? This is such a perfect representation of like mental illness and how to deal with it. And I thought this movie did a really good job of highlighting kind of the struggles maybe some of us are going through right now without making it seem like this kind of grandeur thing. You know, it didn't. I don't know, man. I feel like, especially with like this whole e-boy movement, I feel like people are like, "Oh, I'm depressed."
Yeah.
Like, are you really? Or are you just kind of depressed because it's like the thing?
Or
right
are you
now?
just whining?
You know what I mean?
That's a part of it too.
I mean, it takes into account because his mom was she had narcissistic personality disorder. She had depression, bipolar disorder, right?
Yeah.
And this kind of reflected on him because he was abused and all this good stuff. And I want to kind of, maybe not today, but when I gather my thoughts, I'm still like thinking a lot about the movie.
Yeah.
Of the whole nature versus nurture argument.
Yeah.
You know, was he destined to be a killer, or was simply?
Well, I think here's the thing about everything in this film. I don't know how closely you watched it or how closely you analyzed it. I'm sure you did, but everything that's given to us, everything that is presented to us on his front, we don't know if he's even telling us the truth. We don't know if
typical unreliable narrator.
Yeah, we don't know if it's just him seeing things, because there was at least one or two big examples where, that just didn't happen. You were imagining it. That's not what actually happened. The whole confrontation with Thomas Wayne, like, did that even happen? Like, there's no proof that it happened. He got punched in the mouth or punched in the nose. He was bleeding, and then next thing you know, he's leaning on his counter just the same way he was leaning on the what's it called, the sink in the bathroom. Like, did you imagine that? And he throws himself in his fridge, which I thought was pretty comical. And it's just like you never know. You don't know what he's actually experiencing. They kind of set up a like for you to kind of question what he's thinking when the whole sign thing, when his boss is like, why would they steal a sign? Like, why would they didn't rob him? Why would this group of kids steal a sign? Nobody's like even interacted with those kids other than him. You know what I mean? Like, there's things in there you're just like, when did it happen? Like, did it actually happen? Is he just imagining a lot of his torment? There's something in there that actually happened, you know? Did he kill that girl, by the way? Did he kill that girl?
Which girl?
The girl that he was imagining his relationship with?
I don't think he killed her, no.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there was enough evidence to support that argument.
Yeah.
I think the big argument here is that because the end scene when he's in Arkham, what we assume is Arkham, right? Some sort of mental facility.
Yeah.
Is when he's running around and stuff. And now do we question, did any of that actually happen, or was he in here the whole time? I thought that was the big one, because you're looking at like the small stuff, but this movie ending kind of makes you think like, well, is this Arkham scene after the whole scenario, after the riots, or was this
something he imagined?
Or
was he recollecting? Yeah.
Was he recollecting? Because his hair was not green in that scene. It was the full brown, black, the Joaquin hair, not the Joker hair.
Yeah.
But, we do see the bloody footprints. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about the ending, man? Because I feel like that's probably one of the most controversial bits about the movie.
I honestly, and that's the thing about this movie, is that you could literally interpret it any way that you want. I think it was a recollection of events that took place. There are, like I said, I could totally see the argument going the other way, but I really don't want to believe that he was making it up, or that was just happening in his head. I
don't think it was either. When this thing comes out on streaming services and Blu-ray and stuff, I'm sure both of us are going to take a closer look, and I'm sure a lot of these YouTubers are going to do crazy analysis
They're already
videos
doing
trying
that.
to prove their
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think it was like a recollection, and he was locked up after the fact.
Yeah.
Because he still has his murderous tendencies, as we see.
Yeah.
I liked it. Here's the thing I kind of told Maddie. This works so beautifully as a Joker film, and that's why it's called Joker, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think you can even compare it to Dark Knight Rises because they're not the same sort of film.
Nope.
And I explained it in a manner where Dark Knight Rises is a story about a villain, a hero, and then someone in between. You have 3 major arcs and 3 major facets of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have the light, dark, the gray, everything in between. You know what I mean? You have a lot more themes coagulating in there.
Yeah.
Whereas Joker is an origin story at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it does have a lot of good stuff working for it, but you don't have that counteracting force of Batman or Harvey Dent. You know what I mean? It is a very one-sided story.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably, I mean, my Joker is always going to be Mark Hamill. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I think this Joaquin Phoenix knocked it out of the fucking ballpark, and this movie deserves more attention, even though it's getting all this up front. I think people need to sit down and watch this because it's going to bring to light a lot of the issues of, like I said, of like mental illness, about even just being a decent fucking person. Because half the time, some of the quotes in there was like, "You don't really listen, do you? You ask me the same fucking questions every week. Everything that comes out of my mouth is sad."
Yeah.
And just some of the quotes in there, man, are so fucking good.
Yeah. My favorite was the thing about mental illness is that people expect you to behave even as if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's really intriguing, actually. That's the and it, like, I think a lot of the hullabaloo about like the mental illness and glorifying it, I think people are uncomfortable with shedding light
on issues of society. Absolutely.
On people with mental illness, because I think
I don't think that movie glorified it at all.
No, me either. I think it just showed like how ugly it can get, and it's just, to me, and I don't want to fucking overreach here because this is not the type of podcast we are, but there were warning signs for a guy like the Joker, right? And nobody noticed until he finally
Nobody gave a shit till he put the mask on.
Until he went too far, right?
Absolutely.
And that's the same thing with all these school shooters and shit like that. Nobody gave a fuck about these kids until they did fucked up, horrible things. And I think that's what it's kind of relaying. It's like, always pay attention to other people. One of the most, I think it was humorous, but I think it's the most Joker-ish moments of the film is when he kills his other clown buddy. He stabs him in the fucking eye, which was fucking brutal when he was slamming his head against the wall.
And the midget can't get out. That scene was hilarious.
The little guy couldn't get out.
You're like, hey, man, can you...
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Like, I think it's set up kind of... It couldn't have gone out of the way. He could have set it up like that just because he's the Joker and it gives you the illusion of choice or the illusion that you're going to escape and then ultimately close the door on you. But with that particular scenario, he's like, oh, man, I'm sorry. And then, he opens up the thing and he tells him, he's like, you're the only one who's ever been good to me. Thank you. And then he closes
him out.
Yeah, and lets him out. And like, that was like, it was humorous, but it was uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Just with him and the makeup, was just sitting there making fucking horrible faces.
Great fucking makeup.
Yeah, he did a great job, man. And kind of the whole build up to the end with him at the talk show.
This movie was such a grossly slow burn, but I loved every little minute of it.
Yeah. And like, cause I think as the movie goes on, you could see him become slowly transitions to the Joker. It's not a light switch, right? Like you said, it's a slow burn. He turns into the Joker by the end.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally see that moment of him like just letting the world know exactly how he feels about it. Maybe not being quiet instead of taking out violence on like when he went to the alley and started kicking trash.
Well, even then, man, the whole getting up to the talk show, I think, was we were expecting him to kill himself on live TV, and then he turns the gun at Murray.
I think that's the I think he was. And then he realized he was being mocked. Then he's like, okay, I got something else to say here instead. And I thought it was interesting. I'm glad to say that I told you I got spoiled on it. I got partially spoiled on it because somebody told me that it was all happening in his head.
I don't see. That's super subjective.
Yeah.
That's not like a fact of the matter.
Yeah.
I thought because when they said that Joker was Thomas Wayne's kid, I thought somebody spoiled that for you.
No.
But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. There's so many things. Like, I don't think you could spoil this movie per se.
Not because there's just so many things that could be interpreted in so many different ways, and that is why Todd Phillips. Do you know Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, of course.
Bradley Cooper did this as well. Like, they did a fucking excellent job because it's just hard to put the finger. You can't tell me what truth is and what exactly happened in this film. All you know is that this is a person who clearly has problems, and depending how you look at it, he handled it in a way that you just can't. It's hard to. I don't know. I don't know how I'm trying to say it, but
anyway, what would you give the movie?
The movie's an A+, man.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's the best film I've seen this year. I think it's going to be really hard for
Star Wars to top it.
No, not even just that. I think it's to be really hard for Joaquin Phoenix to be overlooked for an Oscar. I think he's going to get it.
Cool.
Because he did such a good job with this character and gave him so many, just by how he look on his face, especially
just
with
even his mannerisms, dude. Just the way he walked, the way he danced,
the way his dances were fucking phenomenal. And just kind of, I don't know, his delivery on all the lines and the whole entire time, even when he wasn't completely like batshit crazy, he made you uncomfortable.
Yep.
Like he found a way to eke a level of uncomfortability in it. And they just did a great job. Some of the cinematography in the film was just so fucking beautiful.
The only thing I really didn't like about the film, and maybe this is just personal bias, was that they went just full-blown New York with the film. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like that New York, Chicago, Gotham blend we got from the Nolan trilogy.
Sure.
Whatever, man. That doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But, yeah, dude, I think it's like an A- for me.
Yeah.
A-. I do like the movie. I'm still kind of letting it digest. I kind of got my, like, here's how I feel about X, Y, and Z opinions out there. But, like, you know me, man. I like to, like, write down notes.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that you'll be able to fully grasp. It's definitely something that you have to watch a couple of times to like really see everything and to formulate like a theory,
sure,
a thesis on it. I mean, obviously this is our opinions, but I think you have to watch it a couple of times and really frame by frame dissect everything to kind of figure out what the truth, quote unquote, is. But in true Joker fashion, he prefer his background or his origin story to be multiple choice, and that's what this film nailed.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk some Zoe Kravitz.
So Zoe Kravitz, speaking of more Batman casting news, Zoe Kravitz gets Catwoman.
Cool.
And
I think it's a good cast.
Yeah, and I like it. Like I said, I'm not like upset about any of the casting decisions that they have made. So.
And in addition to that, Paul Dano gets the Riddler.
So yeah,
I think he looks the part.
Yeah. So about that, so we talked about last week how it might have been Jonah Hill. So what is Jonah Hill doing in this film?
He might be directing, co-directing, writing.
Maybe
he might be acting. I don't know. Who
well,
knows?
like I said, the rumor was undeclared villain. So
Penguin?
Well, that's the thing that we said, but I don't know. I think it's too on the nose.
Calendar Man.
They didn't offer enough money?
We don't know. I guess we'll have to look into it some more.
Yeah.
But we're kind of bad with our research.
Yeah. Oh well.
But yeah, Paul Dano, I think it's a good fit. Looks wise, I think he fits the role. And Zoe Kravitz, I mean, you can't go wrong with Zoe Kravitz.
He would. It's very, to me, like as far as the Riddler, the best person to ever do it was the dude who did it on Gotham.
Yeah. Penguin and Riddler on Gotham were great.
Yeah, they had probably the best physical live action representation of those characters so far, at least. I mean, I'm sure this kid would do a great job. But yeah, pretty cool.
In addition to that, we got some little more casting news.
Yep.
RDJ as Dolittle.
Yep. Robert Downey Jr. Saw the poster. I'm not exactly sure who was claiming for this, but hey. Whatever. If anybody can pull it off, I think it's RDJ, right? I think Robert Downey Jr. can do it. And
I mean, he's going to need something lined up after the whole Marvel thing, right?
Yeah, this is true. And keep on working, man. We like you, Robert Downey Jr. So just keep working, man. But yeah, nothing too crazy to say about it. But hey, that's kind of cool.
Cool. Talk to me about Training Day.
So Training Day is getting a sequel with, I don't know if it's actually a sequel or a prequel or what they're doing with it, but they're bringing it back. And that's interesting, I guess. I'm not I know people like love Training Day. I like. Oh, you love Training Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
My girlfriend loves Training Day.
Yeah, I like Training Day. So kind of cool, right?
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Let's get into gaming. All right, let's talk about the Goose. You seen this? You seen the Goose taking over the internet?
Well, yeah, you brought this up a couple weeks ago.
So I bought this on launch day. I kept waking up every 2 hours just to see if I could download it off the Nintendo eShop, and I finished it. It is a fucking great little puzzle game where you play as a goose, and it's called Untitled Goose Game. That's like the gag for it behind it.
Sure.
Grossly simple controls, great fucking mechanics. I thought it was crazy. I just wanted to bring this up because in Japan and Australia, it outsold for a whole ass week the Link's Awakening Legend of Zelda
Really?
game. That is insane.
That is nuts.
It knocked it down to the number 2 spot
That is
for a whole last week.
What
It's
the
a little
fuck?
indie dev from Australia, House Studios, and I thought it was great.
man.
If you ever get around to getting a Switch, I highly recommend it. It's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as well as play. And I'm not one for puzzles. I'm usually that guy when I come across a puzzle in a game, I look it up because I have no patience for that. But this whole game is essentially a puzzle game. It just didn't present itself in that manner. You're just this little fucking diabolical goose going around fucking around with people. And maybe I'll bring it over next week just so you can get a kind of a taste with it. But the art style is super charming. That goose, I don't think geese have ever been this popular before. You know, it was the consensus was fuck geese, and now it's like geese.
Well, I think I saw something on the internet where it claimed was like, well, man, when video games came out, or when like Zelda came out, like they gave like a quick synopsis of that, and then they came up across another game in the mid '90s, and they gave a quick synopsis of that, and it's like, in today's day and age, you're a goose, but you're a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, dude, the game is absolutely fun. I just kind of wanted to bring it up because it's been taking everybody by storm, and it's got a lot of charm and love into it.
So did you finish it?
Yeah, absolutely. I finished it, I think, the next day.
Really?
So, I mean, it's not like a super long game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But there is a good amount of stuff to do, a good amount of people to torture, and shit to steal. I don't want to give away too much, but I think my favorite moment was you got to sneak into a bar, and there's like a dude doing deliveries outside. So you like knock over one of the boxes, empty the contents, hop in the box, close it, and he like delivers you. And so you know, it's just a concept. You're this fucking goose in like a cardboard box, and the dude's delivering you, and he drops you. You know. Or if you honk while he's carrying you, he'll fucking drop the box, and you'll fly out.
That's
and the bartender
funny.
will chase you. But
I like that.
yeah, man, it's like fun, quirky shit. It is like genuinely like a good family time.
Interesting.
I just wanted to talk about that.
Interesting. Okay.
Because it is a good game.
Very cool.
What else we got? PlayStation 5 officially announced holidays 2020.
Very strange.
I don't think so.
Well, not so much the fact that it's actually happening,
Mm-hmm.
so much of how it's like, oh yeah, like they mentioned it like in passing.
I don't think they presented it in such a manner. I don't think they hyped it up all that much. I do agree with that, but I think they realized that it might be too soon for this year, and they got some shit to wrap up. So I'm expecting Ghost of Tsushima is probably going to be one of the launch titles for that.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely, because this thing's been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and what's 6 more months going to do for it, right?
True.
Last of Us, we kind of predicted this. It's not going to be a per se launch title because it is March.
Yeah.
It is probably going to be super available on the PS5.
Yeah.
It's going to be part of that first wave.
That and the fact that we also mentioned how the previous Last of Us was like the last hurrah on the 3. So
Precisely the same thing.
Yeah.
And here's my thing. We're getting to this kind of state of the gaming scene where crossplay is to be expected for most AAA games.
Yep.
So I think we're in a very interesting spot where they're going to need to crank out some really good fucking exclusives, especially Microsoft, right?
Sure.
Because why on earth would I get the next Xbox, the Scarlet is what they're calling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I can just buy it on PC.
Can we?
You know what I mean?
No, you're right. But I just want. I don't know who in Microsoft makes these decisions, but
The
why?
naming scheme.
Yeah. Why?
Don't ask me, man. I thought the 360 was a good.
Yeah.
It made sense.
Absolutely.
But then where do we go from there?
720,
To one.
1080.
Yeah, you do the full Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
The
exactly.
McFlip.
Yeah.
Or the McTwist.
Like this. Yeah. Inverted 540.
I see. If it was just called the Scarlet, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But they got to keep the Xbox tag on it. It looks kind of funky. I don't love the way it looks.
Yeah, I mean, is that like for sure, or is that just a dev kit, or is that exactly how?
I have no idea, honestly. We're gonna have to wait and see. We're probably gonna get like a full ass conference reveal in April.
Sure.
And the rumor is it's gonna be fully backwards compatible.
That's the rumor.
All the way back to the 1.
That's interesting.
I still have a bunch of my PlayStation 1 games around the house.
There you go.
So if it is fully backwards compatible, we can talk.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting choice. So strange.
No, I think it's a good choice.
Yeah.
I think it'd be more enticing because the PlayStation 2 has the largest library of any console out there, right? The last game came out in 2012.
Yeah, that was going to say that.
It was a soccer game.
Yeah. That's crazy to me.
And if you can just go back and not have to emulate all this shit on like a computer or whatever, and you can play all your PS3 games, and then if the PS4 shit carries over, then dude, that's like perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then you don't have to get rid of your library right there. You don't per se have to. You can move the good PS4 into the living room and just use that as a streaming box.
Sure.
And then keep the PS5 in here.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I said, but it's just weird. I mean, like I think we've entered uncharted territory when it comes to how.
Are we going to get another one of those too?
Yeah. Well, wasn't talking about that, but I think we've entered uncharted territory where there's no like crazy build, like you said, crazy build up, or maybe a big conference where it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, these things are coming out.
You got to give it 6 months, man. They didn't want that build up yet.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's just weird. Where I don't know. I feel like the competitors, quote unquote, have taken things like casually almost.
Well, like I said, crossplay.
Yeah.
It's gonna come down to features, exclusives, and what else your machine can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I thought Microsoft would have been the first ones to drop the hammer on next gen.
Yeah.
Because they lost the race by a fucking mile and a half.
Yeah.
Getting into it, you know. So my theory was that they were gonna be like, yeah, dude, here's what the Scarlet looks like. Here's some of the stuff it comes with. Blah blah blah. But Sony was like, yeah, here it is. We'll probably talk some more about it in 6 months.
Yeah, it's just a strange thing, man. I remember like the big hype up for like the 3 before it came out, and just, you know, like it was like a dick measuring contest, and now that's just like all gone. It's so strange. Such a strange world we live in, man. Gaming has changed. I mean, we've talked about it a bazillion times, but man, it's just weird. It's just weird to be able to witness that.
Good stuff. Talking
You know?
about change. Let's talk some Fortnite.
So
black hole.
So
which
yeah,
blows up. New map.
yeah. So basically, they were hyping up this big season, the new season for Fortnite, and they were hyping it up season 13 or whatever the fuck they're doing, right? And
it's I think they're calling it Chapter 2.
No. I'm saying, but prior to that, we were just getting a season 13 update or whatever the fuck, right? And they're like, "Oh, big new event, la la la." Turns out that big event is a fucking bomb dropping in the middle of the map and setting the whole world into a black hole, essentially deeming the game useless for
I think a day or two, right?
A couple of days, yeah. And then they dropped, Chapter 2, and then the fucking
new
news,
map, pogo sticks,
yeah, new map, swimming, some updates to the UI, some updates on how the game feels. I actually played it. I just thought it was cool. I was actually giving them props for this, because the news, people like Fox News was talking about this shit. You know what I mean? I think it was like kind of a cool way to market that. You know what I mean? Hey, it's essentially the second, our second version of this.
Second coming.
Still early access though.
Yeah, I bet.
Forever beta. Yeah, I was actually a fan of this. I actually like this.
Did you play the new Apex map?
I haven't played it. No,
it's really good too.
Is it?
Yep.
I'm gonna try to give that a look, but I just had to see what this whole Fortnite thing was about, and I kind of like it. Apparently, they've added bots to the world too, which I think is cool. A way to upgrade your weapons as opposed to having to like loot for it. There's a way to like upgrade them based on resources and all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm giving Fortnite credit. I know, at least for us, it's kind of fallen off the map. Obviously, it's making more money than ever before. Typical us. Yeah, they get all the credit in the world for me for kind of making a unique thing and making the world shit themselves for a little bit, and they did a good job. So props to them.
What's Project A?
Ooh, all right. So this is by shit. Who is this by? Fuck. Who did Is it Riot? Riot does League of Legends, right?
I believe so.
All right. So this is by Riot Games. Essentially, this is a tactical shooter that they have created, and it's going to be like the next big project. Tactical shooter mixed in with hero. What's the word? Like a hero mechanic.
Okay.
So basically, take
Overwatch and Siege.
Yep, take those two things, throw them in a blender, and watch what comes out. And Riot Games, I think they'll do a good job with this.
Sure.
League of Legends is still one of the most lucrative games of all time, and taken care of, well developed. And apparently, this is going to be their new jam.
I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
Absolutely. Did you happen to take a look at that Siege footage that I sent you?
I did. It's pretty insane.
How crazy is it?
Yeah, it's wild. I think so many people make videos on it, but like Siege made the probably best comeback out of any video game ever, and especially as a game as a service, essentially at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man, it's still going strong.
I just liked how
visually and gameplay.
Yeah,
so many intricate little things change.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, the comments, just naturally how Siege players are. They're like, well, it looked better back then. And it's like, maybe it looked a little bit better. But you have to keep in mind that this was like a simplified version of the game where
things didn't really get to where they were until Mira came out. Mira and Jackal.
Yeah, and they kind of just put everything.
And then even then, the meta changed once more once we got the Outbreak operators. Yeah,
and it's just a weird thing. And I'm not saying that that I don't. Obviously, I love Siege; it's one of my favorite games. But I think I would kind of want to see that version to see if they're going to do that for the next one.
Sure.
Maybe instead of having like pre-built characters, you can kind of develop your own. and queue up that way based on what kind of player you are. I like that. We'll see.
Cool. Ubisoft's making some slip-ups because I heard the new Ghost Recon isn't that great either.
Big shock.
Yeah.
Because remember the Division 2?
Yeah. You remember Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, that got some positive reception, but I guess they're trying to turn everything into a looter shooter XP number stacker.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for that, but don't turn all your IPs into that.
Literally all of them. They've done Ghost Recon. They did the other previous Ghost Recon to that. Division 2.
I don't care, man. Keep Smite holy. Or Siege.
Yeah, Smite.
Yeah, don't keep Smite holy, though.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
They should use that.
Yeah, right. Let's talk some music news and reviews because we got a lot of album reviews. First of all, let's talk about. I want to get this one out of the way. Ice Nine Kills comes out of the fucking woodwork around October 1st. They dropped. What's the name of the song? Your Numbers Up. It is a Scream song. They're good at what they're good at. I just simply hate that they're trying to win Album of the Year again, or trying to be in that bracket.
Yeah,
because they re-released the Silver Scream, the deluxe edition or whatever.
Yeah, it's coming out.
And it has 3 new songs and an acoustic version. And come on, dude, you wait, and they purposefully fucking waited a whole ass year to do that. You
absolutely,
know what I mean?
they did.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, but here's the problem about the Scream song.
Sure.
Basically, it is Scream the musical.
Uh-huh.
That girl,
dude, it felt like what is it? The Avenged Sevenfold song that really like the big old 7-minute one.
You're asking the wrong person, bro. I hate myself.
Oh man, it eludes me. But they did a crazy big ass Bohemian Rhapsody styled.
Really?
This crazy it's like a 7 or 8 minute song, and I can't remember the fucking name of it.
Interesting.
And this feels like it in style.
Yeah, that girl that they got to do is not good.
Yeah.
I don't find her particularly talented. The song itself was musically it's okay. I don't like the fact that it's literally Scream the musical. And they just take kind of the first scene from the first movie and kind of tell it in their own kind of way. Previously, obviously the last album that came out, it was songs based on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, this is Scream the musical. I mean, I don't think we needed it. I would hope it for a little bit better. I'm not particularly impressed with it. I do like the album art though, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more I'm come to the conclusion that Ice Nine Kills is the 2010s version of what early 2000s Avenged was. This song was a Little Piece of Heaven, by the way.
Oh, sure.
It is pretty creative.
Sure.
Dude, they're just good at what they're good at.
Yeah.
I just dislike the fact that, every Halloween they got to come back and be like, hey, guys, we got new stuff.
I mean, I'm blaming
There's another 11 fucking months.
Hey, man, you lean into your fucking gimmick, man.
I guess so.
That's what's funny about that, because I've liked Ice Nine Kills for a while. I like even all their older stuff before they went full blown horror movie.
You like them when they were a ska band?
Not well, I'm out about that now, but my sister's the biggest Ice Nine Kills fan, at least with all the current stuff. I'm like, do you even know anything before every trick in the book? She's like, no. I'm like,
they have stuff before that.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, leading to your gimmick, it makes the money. Obviously, they're successful. They came out with that music video for "It Is the End." I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
We got him to dress up as a clown, so that's cool.
I'm curious to see what movies they're gonna do next year.
Yeah,
Hereditary, Poltergeist. I think they already have a Poltergeist song, if I'm not mistaken.
No. The Omen.
The Omen.
Gotta do The Omen.
They haven't done one on Alien yet.
No, they have not.
But Devil Wears
Prada. But that's a Devil Wears Prada kind of.
Yeah, you gotta be tread lightly. Anyway,
yeah, absolutely.
Let's get into the big boys. So, do you want to do the big one first? Devil Wears Prada released their 6th, 7th?
Whatever the fuck it is.
Whatever. Their studio album called The Act.
Sure.
What do you think?
I knew you were going to kick it to me. God damn you.
All right, you want me to start off?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull up my notes real quick. So I did take some notes for some of these albums. I like that we're doing this now. I used to all the time, and then I kind of fell off. Okay, so I think the Devil Wears Prada is really good at conditioning their fans because this album doesn't feel like a total departure like some of the early interviews suggested. We've gotten these songs in all of the albums, the kind of slow, melodic, the nice, pretty songs that had their place on the album. There was always one of them sprinkled in between, right?
Sure.
And this just feels like they're leaning into that artistic side of it more.
Yeah.
That being said, this isn't a total departure from everything they've done before. I mean, Spiderhead fucking rips, and some of these songs are just so grossly fucking heavy, and it's
the thread.
I thought
the thread was fucking heavy too.
Yeah, the thread is ridiculous. I'm gonna pull up the fucking thing right now because I want to talk about some of these songs. Okay, so I don't think either of us were particularly big on Lines of Your Hands. I think it has grown on me quite a bit, seeing its place in the album.
Okay.
Chemical, I think, is still a fucking banger, regardless of...
hot take, best song they've ever written.
You think so?
Yep.
I think it's particularly good.
Mm-hmm.
Wave of Youth, I think, is probably my second favorite right after Chemical. I think it's particularly great. And
sure.
The picture they paint, or the pictures you paint in your head, pictures in my head, I think it's good stuff, man. But I think with a good chunk of Devil Wears Prada songs, or albums, there's going to be some stuff that falls through the cracks. And I'm not in love with each and every one of these songs, but I do think it is a really good album. I think my final rating is going to be like an 8 for it. I think it's properly good. I don't think they stray too far from anything they've done prior. However, they switch up the ratio. It's like when you're making tea, right? You know how many X amount of grams or ounces tea and then X amount of water, right? I think you just switched up the blend. So you use a little bit more tea this time. Yeah, I think that's what happened here, because this isn't... in some aspects, it is a really good rock album, and it is a very well-produced rock song in that aspect, but we still have this nice grimy dirtiness that beckons from Plagues. Like you said, the thread, the breakdown on that. Holy fucking shit. Thank you for that.
Fuck.
I like it, man. I think it's a good album. I think probably my number 2 spot right now, if we're not including EPs. If you give me a little bit more time, I think it'll work its way up.
Okay, excellent. So my quick views on it, we talked about Chemical already. I think it's a clear standout track. I think it's probably one of the higher forms of experimentation on this album.
Absolutely.
I think it was closer to what you and I both pictured when they were talking about a straight up rock album. But at that point, they kind of sold us both on it because it's such a good song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So they did a good job with that. And I'm going to say it. I think the songs that stray a little bit further away from the traditional TDWP are the better songs.
You think so?
The highlight songs on this particular track. I do like Numb. I do like Isn't It Strange? These kind of weird songs. Now, you talked about Lines of Your Hands. I'm glad that you brought it up, because to me, in the context of the album, it fits.
Yeah. I think we talked about this same situation last year with Silent Planet. You didn't like Northern Fires.
Yeah.
And then when it aligned in the album, it made sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially following Switchblade, which I think was a pretty good opening track.
Yeah. I put it right up there with Dead Throne, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a really good opening track.
Whoa. Take it easy. All right. So there's that. What else? All right, where my notes go? I just had him. And to me, and I added this, the band shows that has matured and grown up beyond just the scene. They have proven that their dedication to their craft and constantly adding new elements leads to longevity. So I think they've proven their point on that. I think they have proven that they're not just one of those bands from that era of that genre that would just be kind of a flash in the pan.
That monetize on the looks and the sound.
Absolutely.
They're genuinely talented people.
Absolutely.
Even though they've lost some of their core members over the years.
Absolutely. I think Mike has risen the bar again. Mike proves over and over again that he's an elite vocalist in the scene. He's added some very strong singing elements to this album. And he's elite, man. What can I say? There's nobody like him. There's one of the very few people who can pull off kind of demon, dark screams, along with giving this kind of level of oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerability with his vocals too.
Put him right up there with Mr. Chamberlain.
Sure, no, for real. He's done a great job, and Jeremy takes a step back, but I think he's contributing more instrumentally this time around, so I kind of forgive that, especially with losing Chris in between the last couple albums. So to me, it's a 9.
Nice.
I liked it maybe just a little bit more than you did. Did not expect to like, especially with a lot of the early press that we got from it. I was kind of afraid.
Would you put it above Death Throne?
No.
Would you put it right after it? If we're not including EPs, because everything gets a lot uglier if we include the EPs.
Yeah.
Yeah? You think so?
Yeah. I think it's just going to grow on me more. I don't think I'm going to get sick of it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, because there are those albums that you got to really be in the mood for, like Plagues and Discord.
Roots is that to me, dude. Honestly.
I think Dead Throne is that for me, but,
really?
We're not going to get into this again.
Yeah.
But I think it sits at a very comfortable second spot for overall Devil Wears Prada albums, and that says a lot.
Definitely in the higher tier, for sure.
That says a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, TDWP, man, they fucking keep it turning, and they're proving why they are almighty.
Good stuff. Talk to me about 1,000 Below.
So, didn't get to it.
I didn't either.
Okay, cool.
All right, we'll postpone this album review. Talk to me about some Spite.
So, I listened to this on my plane ride, right?
Cool.
In case to, maybe keep me kind of focused. And Wow. Straightforward, relentless aggression from a band that's got something to prove, man. These guys fucking slap, all right? They're looking to break out from the pack. I think that's
Cool.
that's pretty obvious. Previous to their last album, this is a lot darker in tone. I think kind of the Roots of All Evil title kind of shows.
Yeah, it works really well.
It kind of shows what they're trying to do. It's hard to tell if this is deathcore or hardcore, depending how you look at it.
It's a nice blend, though.
Yeah, this vocalist, she's definitely a very talented individual. To me, the ultimate person who shines is the drummer. The drummer fucking, he put work in on this album. He wanted to show that he could fucking drum, and he can. Man, I just had a lot of fun with it. Definitely kept me distracted on the plane ride. I definitely looked over some songs again. Nothing like over the top. I don't think it's going to make any list or anything like that. But I give it a 7 out of 10 because these guys fucking smack.
Excellent. We always like to help out kind of younger up-and-coming bands. So be sure to check out Spite and The Root of All Evil. Let's get into another big one. We got Varials dropping an album. Prior to this, I thought Varials was good. I didn't think they were... I don't know, maybe not my flavor, maybe not my cup of tea, or my cup of black coffee, right? And then they dropped In Darkness. So I follow Trav on Twitter because I think he's pretty funny, and he said that like he posted that scene from SpongeBob where it's not what is that, the fucking this isn't your average everyday darkness, this is advanced darkness, and I had like the album cover on it, and I thought that was fucking hilarious, and I was like, there's no way, man, they're already pretty like heavy, and they brought the fucking heat. Hold on. What do you think about this, man?
Hold on, let me back up a little bit. All right, so what I thought about it, I think I was kind of in the same boat. I don't want to say I think I might have liked them a little bit more than you because I brought them up a lot, I think. But Varials, man, fucking wow.
They really stepped up their fucking game with this album.
They impressed.
This is a clear kind of thing to where you know that part in a video game where you're like just like an entry level kind of dude and you have like that basic equipment like a wooden shield, wooden sword. This is when you're just starting to hit your fucking stride and you're just starting to like min-max like your stats and shit like that. I feel like this album did a really good fucking job at that. And I take it back. If there's anybody who could do those weird interlude tracks or those weird, granted they didn't do the opening one, they did the weird in between tracks though. Yeah. Those super atmospheric kind of 40-second weird exchange things, Varials has it down to a fucking art.
They nailed that shit, bro. So this album shows that hardcore music can be more than just chaotic noise. I get a little bit of a Deftones vibe from this. I don't know if you get that.
Nah, dude, not Deftones. I get just out of Trav, his vocals are very reminiscent in some songs to Corey Taylor's. I get that. I get that throatiness out of it. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Listen to it with that mentality, and you won't be able to unhear it.
I mean, you ready to ruin that one Aliens or that one Northlane song because you said it sounded like the Architects. Now I can't unhear it. But yeah, man, I love the vocals due to the fact that it has this very live quality to him. It feels like he's actually playing in front of you.
Doesn't feel fake or manufactured.
It doesn't feel like it's like one take. Let's fucking go and let me take a fucking another drag of my cigarette before we go real quick. This guy fucking delivers, man. This guy is fucking showing. Yeah, man, I'm gonna step up and I'm gonna be a fucking A-tier vocalist because they're getting there to me.
I think Varials, what they did with this album was that they presented this very big fucking album, but still managed to make it feel super claustrophobic, super tight with the drum work, amazingly creative with the guitar stuff in there. And I think, like I said, I think Trav's kind of delivery in each and every song that he just goes hard on is like a testament that Varials is here to stay.
Absolutely.
They're going to be, I'm sure people had questions about The Devil Wears Prada when Plagues dropped, when Roots dropped. This is going to be their Roots when people start paying the fucking attention right here, right now.
I agree.
And yeah, dude, I don't think this band's leaving us anytime soon in the next decade. I think they're only going to go up from here. And this is my favorite Varials work yet to date.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. And to me, it's a brutal fight at the top of hardcore music. Of all the hardcore bands that have dropped albums, not lose sanction, it's a fucking fight to the death between these three albums as far as where they stand. Because they've really, really impressed, really wowed me this time around. And I liked the last album. The last album was fun. But this passes fun. This is passing me starting to like look through and dissect every little thing,
every little nook and cranny.
All the pacing of the songs. it determines like the heaviness of it, because there's some songs that are slower paced but fucking slap you around a little bit, and they've mastered that. They don't have to go balls to the wall crazy with all the crazy instrumentation, and don't need to have fucking 200 beats per minute to fucking kill you, and that's where they're at right now. And I'm wild. There's a couple of songs, Maze, that fucking
Maze is disgusting.
Maze fucking make ugh. And I mentioned this to you.
South of One.
Yeah, South of One has probably one of the best features this year with Brendan Murphy from.
It probably has my favorite feature so far.
Yeah, he's from End and
Counterparts.
Yeah, Counterparts. Yep. And man, this album delivered. I'm gonna give it the rating. Right now it's an 8. I definitely see room for it to grow on me a little bit more, and we'll see where it falls.
Cool. I think it is also an 8 for me. It is a very good, tightly woven album. On like a very intrinsic layer. I think with any hardcore music on the top, it's always gonna seem like sloppy and violent simply because that's like the tone.
Yeah.
And that's the precedent. But if you look past kind of that dermis, that epidermis, right, that top layer, and you look underneath it, you're gonna see that they went into the studio knowing exactly what the fuck they wanted, and they said, no, turn this knob today.
Sure.
Good stuff, guys. I genuinely like seeing, they're not new, but they are coming up.
Absolutely.
I love seeing that.
Absolutely.
What else we got? FeatherWeight. Okay, so this band came up. Did you get a chance to listen to this?
I started to, but I kind of faded in the background real quickly.
Sure. FeatherWeight. So they dropped an album called Sleep Well. These guys are from Akron, Ohio.
Oh.
And this kind of came up on my feed. I was like, yeah, let's give it a little listen, right? Because we love supporting smaller bands on here.
Sure.
Okay, so where do I even begin? FeatherWeight, this album is heavily towards the lighter side of like the metalcore genre. It feels very light and fluffy, but I think it's the lightness that makes them utilize all their instrumentation and vocal work to its fullest extent. They were a lot heavier prior to this. I think that this change really allowed them to kind of shine through, though. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's a fine line between dirty, grimy metalcore and like prettycore, and we kind of saw that division in the latest Wage War album, where they were still trying to do the dirty, grimy, like The River that we knew them for, right? And then we got to see, I can't remember the name of the damn song, but like the lighter stuff that we really enjoyed.
Sure.
So this band, dude, I don't know how long they've been around for, but they crank out catchy melodies and great fucking choruses like it's their day job. And it's ridiculous because no offense if they ever listen to this, but they're essentially nobodies at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think what I said about Daysecret applies to this band as well. They make this album sound much bigger than it is. This doesn't sound like some band that has like 2,000 listeners on Spotify. The production on this album is presented in such a manner that they went to the big dogs, the top dogs, your A and B list fucking producers that did this shit. They did this album a justice. And I think that if you're an up and coming band and you don't know what to do, listen to this and then come back to me with notes, because you're going to see everything that they did that maybe you're not doing that's going to separate you from the pack. They treat, I don't know if they actually do, but to me it sounds like they're treating this band like a business, and they're doing what's best for it in both an artistic sense and a big picture sense. Okay. Because we know a couple of audio engineers, right? And some of them are better than the others, but there's a difference between going to your buddy that you've
was
known
that a stab
for 10
at me?
years. No. No, I'm just saying, there's a big difference between going to somebody who you've known for 10 years that does audio producing and somebody that's in a studio in downtown Chicago that does this on a day-to-day basis for bands, for like legitimate bands that are on tour right now doing their shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And they chose the latter.
Okay.
And it seriously paid off for them.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. Like I said, dude, it's on the lighter side, but with the way your music tastes have been, like the trends this year, I think you're going to get a good kick out of it.
Okay.
And that was my big point, dude. I think they set the bar for up and coming bands.
Okay.
And so FeatherWeight, thank you. That album was fucking great. Like I said, they sat down and they said, how the fuck can we make this catchier? And they sprinkled a little crack on it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. We bought the whole Dave Chappelle show.
Yeah, okay.
Both 2 seasons. But
fair enough.
Solid 7. It's properly good.
Okay.
I'm probably going to come back around to it.
Okay.
That being said, I think that's all our music talk.
Well, We'll be back next week for the 1,000 Below. I didn't want to give a quick glance through because I feel like these guys deserve a little bit more than that.
Yeah, they deserve more of our time.
Yeah, they deserve more of our time, more of an in-depth look. Trying to get Kubla Khan on the agenda next week. The albums don't stop, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a very busy last 3-4 weeks when it comes to album reviews, and it's not stopping, which is good news for us because it gives us something to talk about every single week on Music News and Reviews, right? Wow, I got that.
That's a mouthful, huh?
See how I got it out like in one fucking breath that time? I probably shouldn't have pointed it out because it makes me look like a pro. But
now you're never going to be able to do it again.
Yeah, now I look like a weeb. But I can get into that. All right. But other than that was the Second City Kids podcast. Pretty good episode, if I say so myself.
Nice and chunky.
Absolutely. A lot of stuff to cover. A little bit for everybody. And that's awesome. All right. We'll be back here next week for episode 137.
137.
This was episode 136.
136.
And we'll see you next week, guys. Deuces. Thank you guys for joining us this week on the Second City Kids podcast. You can like us on iTunes, Google, anywhere else podcasts are found. Any comments, questions, or concern, you can email us at secondcitykids@gmail.com. Until next week, folks, deuces.